What's happening, good people? Welcome to Wes's Watch Room. Today I'm going to be taking a look at this. So this is the Waykins Recapture from the folks at Trendhim. They were kind enough to send this out to review on the channel. That doesn't change my opinion, as you well know. You can find a link to this and their store down in the description if you're interested. So the reason why I wanted to take a look at this is because it's made from recycled materials. And I do like to do my bit for the environment when I can. So when they reached out and said, would I like to take a look at this? It's made from recycled materials. I thought, you know what? Let's take a look. So anyway, as always, we're gonna do the pros, cons, specs, and all that good stuff, and then we'll talk more detail about the watch. So starting with the sizes first, and the diameter of this is 40 millimeters. With a crown, it's 43. Thickness is 10 millimeters, so it's actually quite nice and thin. Lug width is a standard 20 millimeters. The lug to lug, so from tip to tip, is 48, and the crown is on the small side at 3 millimeters. So yeah. Other specs include a 39 gram weight on the supplied strap, but more on that in a little bit. The case is made from recycled plastic. We've got a mineral crystal, and it's got 100 meters of claimed water resistance, pull push crown, and a very cool screw down case back. So let's start off with the case first, because that's obviously the big talking point of the watch. So this is made from recycled plastic. So obviously what they do is they source plastic from a supplier and then construct it into a case. I'm not really sure on what method they use to actually construct the case, but yes, it is made from recycled plastic. So it's nice that it's not just going to landfill and they are making usable products out of it, which is awesome to see. So looking at the case, it's there's not really too much to note. We've got a slightly sloped bezel. We've got that mineral crystal there, which is got a little bit of a beveled edge. And that's about what. There's not much detail work or anything. Case side, it's pretty flat. Not really a deal going on. We've got just little straight lugs, flat, and it's like I said, there's not really too much to note. This side, again, more of the same, apart from we've got a little groove cut out for the signed crown. Crown is very small, and we'll touch on that later on, but yeah, it's definitely not the biggest. I do like that it's signed, but yeah, it's very, very small. So quick look at the case back, and then we'll move on to the best part, which is the dial. So this is radial brushed. We've got your specifications in a radial design as well, and I like that they've put holes instead of the usual grooves. It just makes it look a little bit different. And that is a very, very strong radial finish as well, which I do like. Always better than high polish, in my opinion. So that is good. Now we get on to the actual main feature of the watch, and that is the dial. It's quite minimal, but it is nice as well. So on the outer edge, we've got a printed white minute track, and you can see it's sort of like a sunken dial. It's very, very thin, but it is slightly sunk into the watch. So the minute track is slightly raised. You can just see there is a little bit of a sort of shadow where it separates the two. But yeah, very, very nice. And I do like the grey as well. I think it's a nice, quite modern shade. As for the hands, they're just a very slender white baton style with a little bit of lume at the ends. Second hand is just an arrow with, again, a little lume tip and a circle counterbalance on the end. As for printing, we've got Waykins under the 12, and then Recapture and the water resistance above the 6. And that's really it for branding. But the main feature that I really like is the waveform pattern on the dial. So this is cut in a groove style, in just a little bit of a wave motif, and it's very nice. You can't really see it all that well on the grey dial. Some of the some of the other colours have got a little bit more of a prominent look to it, but yeah, it's very nice. I like it. Again, really clean and minimal. Not much contrast though, so it's not the most legible, I'm going to say, in all lighting situations. I mean, especially given that the hands are grey towards the end as well. I think they should have made them all white, to be fair, just so they stand out a little bit more and it's a little bit more legible. But that's just for this grey one. I'm not sure if all the rest of the colours are colour matched hands as well. If they are, then that's probably going to have you know, the same. You can see, even though it's mineral, it does you know, it does blow out under bright light as well. It's more legible obviously to me in person, but on camera it does blow out quite a bit. So that's that done really. So the case, you know, the construction does feel pretty solid. The case back feels pretty solid. Lightweight though, like I said, it's only 39 gram on the supplied strap. But yeah, what I would like to say is I don't know if the dial's recycled as well. So if I can find that information out, I'll pop it on screen. But yeah, I think the dial is potentially not made from recycled material and it's just the case. But again, I'll try and confirm before I upload the video. So let's actually move on to the strap now, because we've pretty much covered, you know, the case in its entirety. That strap is just an aftermarket one, and I'll explain why I am wearing an aftermarket one. Starting with this. So this is the supplied strap, and you know what, the quality is, it's okay. It's definitely not the best strap I've ever had. It's not the worst either. So we've got your adjustment holes, which are, you know, nice and cleanly cut. And then we've got this vegan leather on the inside. And some of you guys in the unboxing video said that this is not really, you know, sort of environmentally friendly. And I can see that. The outer, you know, material, this fabric here is PET. So this is actually recycled material. This, it's vegan, but it's definitely not recycled. So yeah, it's a little bit of a sort of a mixed message I'm getting with this watch. I mean, part of it is made from recycled materials, like, you know, the outer material of the strap, which actually feels really nice. And then, of course, the case. But then other parts sort of throw it off. And another thing that threw it off as well, and something else you guys mentioned, was the sheer amount of packaging. So there's two large, you know, large cardboard. You know, cardboard's recyclable, yeah, I get it, but it doesn't really need to be this big. They could have made the packaging much more compact and used a lot less of it. So yeah, that's something they can do as well. Reduce the packaging size, because it doesn't really scream environmentally friendly when they could have made it a lot smaller. Anyway, we'll move back onto the watch. So this is the shorter side of the two. So we've got a floating keeper, one fixed in place. This one is branded. You can see it's like got a heat stamp where it says Waykins. Same material finish, you know, that same PET. And then we've got a stainless steel buckle. Again, not really sure if that's made from recycled steel or whether it's just, then I'm presuming probably not. Because it looks like one of those, you know, off the shelf jobs with just their branding on it. And you can tell it's one of the cheaper ones because, you know, it's not even drilled at the sides either. So the strap, it feels all right, it's nice, but it's definitely not as environmentally friendly as perhaps it could be. So the reason why I'm actually not wearing that strap as well is because it's too big. There's not enough adjustment holes for my slim wrist. So it needed another one in order to fit me, which is why I've had to pop it on this aftermarket strap. And it's not the best look, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, it fits all right. So let's pop this on wrist and show you what it wears like. Obviously we can't talk about how comfortable that strap is because it didn't fit. But yeah, so let's do that. And there it is on my 6-inch wrist. And I'm not a fan, guys, to be honest. There's a little bit of a design thing that I'm not so keen on, and you might be able to see that straight away. Now, it's lightweight, so it's got that going for it, but I don't find it very comfortable to wear. And there is a reason for that, and I'm going to show you. If you look at the profile, you can see it's flat, and then the lugs stick up. The first watch I've ever had where the lugs stick up instead of conforming to your wrist. I'm not really sure what the, you know, what was going on there when they decided to do that. I mean, it looks unusual and it's a little bit different, but as for comfort, it's just not great. Now this strap is really comfortable. It's, you know, it's old, it's worn in, it's nice and soft, but the watch itself, I'm not a fan. I mean, it's really weird, and if you look at it on wrist as well, it looks way bigger because the lugs are sticking up, and it just gives it more of a very, very strange look on wrist. So not only is it not very comfortable for me personally, the look of it is just very, very strange. Again, it's just a weird one, guys. Lightweight, so it's got, like I said, it's got that going for it, but yeah, it's not very comfortable at all, unfortunately, just because the weird profile. So yeah, I'm not really sure what we're going on. Well, let's move on. So now we're going to talk the movement, and this is using a quite cheap, to be fair, my 2035. So it's got a up to 3-year battery life, negative to plus 20 seconds per month, so it's pretty much on par. 0 joules, and it's an SR626SW battery if you need to replace it. As for the movement in itself feels actually really good. My Otas, even the more affordable ones, are all pretty reliable and good movements. My issue with the watch, the crown, it's tiny. I mean, I don't have the biggest of fingers. They're really slim, well, really skinny. And even I struggle to use this. You have to sort of get your finger behind it. You can see, you know, it disengages and the second hand stops. And then, you know, once you actually get it, the movement feels great, like I've said already. No horrible, gritty stuff. Feels alright. It's just the crown is so hard to grip because it's just ridiculously small. Your fingers slip off it as well because it's narrow. So not only is it narrow, it's too small, and it just makes it a nightmare to adjust. Now luckily, you know, you don't have to adjust it all that often with it being quartz, but I really don't know what they were thinking making it that small. It needed to be at least 5mm, maybe even 6, because then, you know, you'd fill out the side of the case a little bit more, it'd look better aesthetically, and it'd be more functional as well. So that is just ridiculous. It's awkward to use, and it looks daft as well. So yeah, that would be a big change if they were ever to make a second version of this. The final thing as well is the loom. It's got some, it's not great to be fair, and yeah, it should be better for the price point of the watch. So I'm not going to dwell on it too much because, you know, loom's not going to be the big reason why you buy this watch. It's going to be for the environmental cred, but we'll talk about that now. Final thing is, of course, the price and verdict. So current price is on screen right now, and I am going to say it's too expensive. I think for, you know, the quality of it, I think for the specifications, it's too expensive. It wants quite a fair bit knocking off, to be fair. And also, this whole environmental thing, it's not that environmentally friendly, really. To be fair, you know, the case, recycled plastic, appreciate that. But then you've got a case back that's not made from recycled materials, the crown, a quartz, so you're having to change the battery every few years. Again, not great for the environment. If it was solar, okay, I could get behind it being a quartz, but it's not. It's just a traditional cheap quartz. Yeah. And then, of course, you've got the excess packaging and the inner strap, not really environmentally friendly either, to be fair, because I know it's vegan leather, which is better than leather, but it's still, you know, not great. And then, you know, like you've got all these other things as well that aren't made from recycled material. The buckle, you know, it's not made from recycled steel. So if you're going to make an environmentally friendly watch, you need to do it right. This is just a little bit half-baked, in my opinion, and it could be better. And even saying that, it's too expensive for what you're getting. So this one doesn't get recommended from me, guys. I'm going to be completely honest. I like where its head's at, where it's trying to be, but it's just fell quite a bit short, in my opinion. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.